This is attorney Vincent Davis. This show is Get Your Kids Back Now. The show is dedicated to keeping families together and to fighting the tyranny of CPS and DCFS social workers. A secondary purpose of the show is to educate parents and relatives, or to at least show them where to get the necessary information for their fight. The final purpose of the show is to remind the people that change can be effectuated at the ballot box at the state and federal levels. Let us unite, vote, and elect those who will help us. Today I'm going to tell you about a very interesting thing that happened to me this week. And this is what happened. Several years ago, a family hired me to represent one of the parents in the juvenile dependency court. The allegations were that the father had committed serious physical abuse against the child. The child had a broken, as I recall, a broken collarbone. But it's been so long I haven't done the case in a long time. Anyway, through the investigation of the case and the trial, I realized that the social worker, one or more of the social workers, had fabricated evidence and made up things about the case to implicate the father. And even at that time, the police were investigating and threatening to arrest him and prosecute him for this serious physical abuse on this child. To make a long story short, the judge, I don't know if the judge ordered it or if both sides did it, but both sides got a separate evaluation, physical evaluation, to determine if this injury was, child abuse. Our expert came back and said that it wasn't child abuse and had an explanation for the abuse. The county's expert came back with the same conclusion. Everyone was shocked, but the county used a very well-known doctor. I think the doctor was an expert in orthopedics. But anyway, this doctor was well-known in the juvenile dependency arena. She had written reports and testified in many occasions. And in my many years of practicing, I don't think I ever remember her testifying on behalf or coming to the conclusion on behalf of the parents. But in this particular case, she came out and said that it wasn't child abuse, that the accident or the injury occurred just as the parents had explained it had occurred. So we had the trial. The county still was going forward trying to prosecute the family, and they had taken the child away from the family and placed the child with a relative, and the relative was in another county, as a matter of fact. But anyway, we went to the trial. The judge found that the allegations were not true and dismissed the case. And that day or the next day, the parents got the child back. Now, I was poised to bring a lawsuit on behalf of the entire family. And they decided to hire another attorney, another well-known attorney in Los Angeles County to represent them, who's very well known, who's an expert at these types of cases. And off they went, and I really never heard from them again about the case, and time has gone by. And then this week, they called me, and they asked me to come in on the case to do the trial, which is in a couple of months. I'm telling you the story because during that discovery process in the civil rights lawsuit, they had discovered that the county withheld what's called exculpatory evidence from us at the time of trial. Not only did we have the two experts who basically ruled that it was not child abuse, but the county allegedly knew that it wasn't child abuse from the very beginning of the case. At the very beginning of the case, in most cases in Los Angeles County, and in a lot of counties in California, They order what's called a hub assessment. And allegedly, this child was assessed by one of their own doctors at the hub assessment. And that doctor allegedly told the social workers that this wasn't child abuse. Now, think about this. I'm defending the guy in juvenile court from losing his parental rights, possibly forever. Not only that, but the police are thinking about prosecuting him for child abuse. And had they prosecuted him and had he been convicted, he was going to jail for many, many, many years. So it comes out during the civil rights lawsuit discovery, the social workers knew that it wasn't child abuse. They never told the judge. They never told me. They never told the mother's attorney, by the way, which they have a statutory obligation to do, to disclose evidence that's favorable to the parents. And, they proceeded with a trial against this family. Luckily, we won, and we won it without the exculpatory evidence, but had we had that evidence, I don't think we would even have to have had a trial. The child would have been returned sooner. In these particular cases, you have to do informal discovery and discovery. Because I found, as in this case, if you don't specifically ask for something, they're not going to give it to you. But just imagine, from the very beginning, the county knew that it wasn't child abuse, and they still tried to prosecute this case against the parents. Mind-blowing, isn't it? Remember to do your discovery.